speechless. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Welcome back to Travel Support Kind of Thursday.
Travel
Hold on. I got some.
Thursday.
We should bring this one back to the originals. Could you hold this for a second?
Travel Thursday. Travel Thursday.
We're launching a scholarship and a Patreon. Wow, you really nailed that. Okay.
It's been a while.
All right, let's just get these big announcements out of the way at first. This is an exciting day for us, as you can tell. We're a little loopy with excitement. So we have not made an episode here on the podcast for a little bit, and that's because we've been working on a bunch of stuff. First things first, we launched a scholarship. It's just so exciting. This is something that we've been trying to do for a long time. We've had this idea for years now.
Yeah, I think like at our 5,000 subscribers giveaway, which is wild to think about. I think this was when we first set the intention. This is our intention. We plan to give a trip around the world. We plan to give trips around the world as soon as we possibly can when this thing takes off. And we're finally putting our money where our mouths are and trying to really get back to the mission of why we started this channel to begin with, which is to help people like you travel.
Yeah, this was just the most direct way that we could think of to help people who we think need it the most at the right time in their life to be able to travel. But this is just the beginning. The scholarship is just the start.
Yeah, so let's talk about the scholarships. So the scholarship is primarily for college students who are looking to study abroad and who need some financial assistance in getting to meet their goals to go travel abroad. So both of us, we were fortunate enough to go to college, but when we were in college, we weren't able to, we couldn't even dream about the possibility of traveling abroad.
No.
It was nothing that was in our realm of possibility.
Yeah,
I remember
eating
afford.
I remember eating ramen noodles and Easy Mac basically for every single meal for months on end. And then the thought of hey, maybe I could afford to go to Italy for an entire semester and travel just seems so ludicrous,
removed,
so far away.
Right now, we're in a fortunate enough place to call this even our jobs, that we get to travel for a living. And now we have the opportunity to give back a little bit.
Here's how the scholarship is going to work. It's $5,000 to one student this year, given away in the fall semester. We decided to start it up through this website called bold.org, which is where you can check it out. And the link is right here to get to it.
And it's in the description.
Yes, lisaandjosh.com/scholarship is how you get to it.
Yeah.
And it's called the Lisa and Josh World Scholarship.
Because why not some hand wavy whatever? What do you call a scholarship for YouTubers?
Yes. And the idea behind this thing was to help college students from modest financial backgrounds to be able to make their study abroad dreams come true.
Yeah.
That's the headline of the thing. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to give away one this year, and we've fully funded it out of our own pockets, this full $5,000. And then we have a plan that we're going to talk about in a little bit of how to give away more of these things every single year.
So if you're out there, or if you know anybody out there who's looking to travel abroad and who meets this criteria, check out the link. We're looking forward to all the applications and reviewing them, and then giving away our first scholarship this fall, which is really, really exciting.
Yes. Oh man, I can't wait. This is a sentence that I never thought I'd be able to say, but I'm so excited that we can, which is that we are going to help somebody actually travel the world.
And I know we're starting off, with this very specific group, college students, right? They're at this prime time in their lives where they get to choose what major to major in, what path to go down. And we think travel is such a great opportunity at that time. We would have loved that opportunity when we were in college.
Yeah.
That being said, I think our ultimate goal though is to be able to expand this scholarship to anybody. Everybody who needs this, because we know we didn't start traveling until we were in our 30s and our late 20s, and any time is a good time to travel. Any time is a good time to start traveling. So our hope is that we start small-ish here, which feels big now, but eventually we'll be able to keep giving these things away and then expand it to the world. World scholarship?
Yeah, lots and lots of people there, and we have plans, and we're working on that next step. We're just starting here. We're starting with the scholarship. In addition to the scholarship, we also have a scholarship fund. And the way it works is in $5,000 increments coming out of that scholarship fund. It's going to go to the scholarship, which is then going to be given to a student specifically for their study abroad tuition. If you would like to contribute to the scholarship, all you got to do is go to lisaandjosh.com/scholarship fund. Again, everything's going to be in the description below if you don't remember that. This is just the start. This is just like our first way of doing it. We're going to expand this a lot more in the future, and I'm so excited about this. I can't wait. We even got a giant novelty check. We're going to fly out to whoever wins this thing, hopefully, and just like present them this gigantic novelty check in person.
That would be so cool. And I want to meet this future person, this college student, and find out where they're going and why they're going and what they're hoping to do with this travel, this time in their lives that they get to travel. So all of it just feels so unreal, surreal and unreal. Is that the same?
Surreal and I think those are more
synonyms. We've been doing a lot of crossword puzzles. All of that to say is we're sorry we've been a little bit absent and quiet on this channel, and a lot of it is because there have been all these projects that we've been really, really excited about and working really, really hard to bring to life, and this scholarship is one of the biggest ones.
Donate if you want. Don't feel at all like you have to. But one thing that I would ask is that you just spread the word. Just tell people like, hey, we know these people on YouTube and they're like running the study abroad scholarship. And what we'd love to have is connections just with other people in this like scholarshipy community to help us get the word out about this scholarship to as many colleges, as many universities, as many whatever as we possibly can, so that way as many students can have the chance to win this thing. I'm just so excited about that. I don't know. This gets me fired up. This has been the whole point of the channel from the beginning, was to do something like this. And we finally can.
It's wild to think about it. And this thought of like making YouTube videos while we traveled was intriguing, but also we worried about it. We didn't want it to become this like all-encompassing about us kind of ordeal. And the only parameters that we really said about doing YouTube and travel was that we'd only do it if it was helpful and valuable for other people. I'd only do it if we were actually helping people do the same, not just like watching us.
Yes, and we never ever wanted to generate FOMO. We never wanted to portray an unrealistic lifestyle.
It's been a journey, right? Of 3 years of us trying to figure this thing out, make this our job, but also like have fun in the process. And we're not saying that we're perfect at that. This scholarship feels like the most real way that we can help people actually travel the world. And this is the reality now that we're fortunate and able to, and hopefully we can keep going.
Yes. All right. So announcement number 2 today is we are launching our Patreon. And this is something we've been working on for a long time, and we are super excited about it. We got 2 major reasons for getting this thing off the ground. And the first of that is directly related to that scholarship. So 10% of all earnings that we make off of this Patreon, I just want to tell you up front before we tell you what all the stuff is in it, is that 10% of everything that comes into the Patreon is going to go directly to that scholarship that we were just talking about. Not only that, but we're going to match that 10% monthly and put that also into the scholarship so that we can give away more of these super cool trips to college students that I'm so excited about. And also, it allows us to continue making these videos. Okay, first of all, we've got our complete city guides on there for every place. So we've done a 3 days and X video. And these are like deep dives on these cities with additional context and information, even like bonus recommendations of stuff that we love that didn't make it into the video.
And we also have maps of every single place that we visit in these 3 days in or 3 weeks in. So that way you can take them on your future trips.
Number 3 is some juicy behind the scenes content in the form of a director's commentary. So this is where we break down all like the process and how we actually make these videos.
All the little arguments that happen when we have creative disagreements.
Yes, everything. All this behind the scenes stuff is in these director's commentaries. We also have bloopers and deleted scenes in there so that you can see exactly how bad we are at our jobs. We've also got live stream Q&As, and not only that, on top of that, we also got our entire travel hacking and credit card churning course that used to be just on Skillshare, but is now available in this Patreon with any membership that you sign up for.
So right now in our Patreon, there's a ton of content, but we're planning to continue to like basically fill this, I don't know, what is it? Vase? Fill this vessel. It's an online vessel. Fill it.
You're filling a vase with content. Can you imagine that, just pouring this little vase?
I don't know how to talk about this.
Yes.
So if that is a thing that you're excited about and you would like to support us and support this effort, check out the Patreon link in the description below and sign up.
Yep.
It's launched now.
Yeah, it's just patreon.com/Lisa and Josh. So if you head there, that's where all the Patreon stuff is. If you do sign up, make sure that you go and check out the city guide for our 3 more days in Tokyo one, because I think that one's really useful and also really weird. And also be sure to check out the director's commentaries that are up there. I think that's the stuff that I'm like
That's your
most proud of.
favorite.
Yeah.
So check that out if you're interested. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was obviously this podcast, Travel
Yes.
Support Thursday. This is a thing that we were doing every single Thursday, answering your questions directly. And I know there were a couple of times that we when things got busy, we couldn't really do an upload every single Thursday. That's on us for initially setting up the expectation and the hopes that we were going to be able to do this every single week. Honestly, the podcast is still one of my favorite things that we get to do because we get to have these honest, deep conversations about travel that we don't get to do in these highlight reel videos. So we wanted to address that and say, sorry that we were gone for a little bit, but the truth is we were working on a lot of behind the scenes things like these big projects, the scholarship and the Patreon and traveling and making these larger videos. We still intend to make these Travel Support Thursdays. It might not be every Thursday because let's just be honest, it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
It's the two of us
Making all
trying
this
to
stuff.
sustain all of this. I think in general, we haven't really been, I don't want to use the word good or bad, but we're not necessarily, ever since we started Lisa and Josh YouTube, we haven't necessarily been good, in air quotes, at keeping on a regular schedule to begin with.
Yeah.
I am someone who loves routine and loves a good schedule. But when you're trying so many different things and when you're working on so many different things and your mind's all in different places, it's just kind of hard. It's been hard to rein us in on a set schedule.
Speaking of that, upcoming videos that we got, so the 3 more days in Tokyo released today. So if you haven't checked that out on the main channel, go and do that. And then also our The Other Side of the Camino documentary about our Camino experience walking the Camino Portugues. That was a lot of the words Camino very rapidly there. It's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. And then right after that, 2 weeks in the Philippines, which we are leaving tomorrow to start filming, which
We're
is
so excited.
Yes, I can't wait. Okay, that's enough announcements.
Yeah.
Wow, is that a lot of announcements?
So much context.
So much context.
Trying to provide value.
Okay.
We have some questions though that we'd love to answer for Travel Support Thursday.
Yeah, what do we got?
Okay,
today?
so question number 1 comes from the Nomad Ninja, who asks, have you ever received a tax refund, sometimes called a value-added tax or VAT refund when shopping internationally? So it sounds like when they were in Japan, they did some souvenir shopping at Don Quixote. We know that store all too well. And the cashier in broken English asked if I wanted tax-free and said something about the second floor. Confused, I said no arigato because I had no idea what she was talking about.
Sure. So we just did this.
Yes.
Like a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So it was super easy. Japan makes this really, really
easy. It really,
easy.
really is. I actually had these same questions. Don Quixote in general is a very amazing, but also overwhelming kind of store. There's
imagine
so many signs.
Yes. Imagine like a Walmart, but in Japan.
Well,
Right.
but not even, because then there's just
But they sell everything.
Walmart with lanterns on every single aisle.
Yes.
And everything has at least 5 different languages, which is incredible. And then there's also the background music of dun 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 donkey.
That's true.
Dun 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 dun. It's so catchy, so then that's stuck in your head. Okay. So yeah, we just did this when we were in Japan last week, and I think you can look it up online, but the basic premise is if you're planning to spend, I think it's 5,500 yen, which works out to be $30-$40 right now in USD. You can get what's called a tax-free shopping. So
And that applies to everything in the store. Anything
Yeah.
that you can buy at Don Quixote
actually,
is
that's not true.
asterisk.
Yeah, I think there's
Candy?
some things that.
Is it the candy that you get?
No, I think I don't remember what some things are.
It's most of the stuff in the store.
Yeah.
Almost everything in the store.
The most important thing is if you intend to do a lot of shopping, bringing home souvenirs back home, the most important thing that you have to do is bring your passport. So, and there's a bunch of different stores in Japan that are like this. It's Don Quixote. There's also some other pharmacy, drugstores, general goods stores that do this tax refund or tax-free shopping, and you have to look for the tax-free sign.
Yep.
Bring your passport, and then you buy all your goods. And I think you only get the tax-free. Yeah, I think if it's like 5,000 or 5,500 yen or above. And then you take all of your stuff with your passport up to the floor and the sign that specifically says for tax-free shopping.
Yep.
So this is
tax-free
for
cashier. It'll be a separate cashier, usually on a different floor of the Don Quixote, that will do only tax-free transactions. Normally only be like one or two of them in the whole store.
Yes. And so you bring all your stuff, you bring your passport, and then the cashier will specifically ask you for your passport, so they have to enter some information, look at your visa, and they will ask you, do you intend to open or use any of these goods while you're in Japan? And the answer should be no, right? Because these are things that you're intending to bring home and use in the US. That's how you get it tax-free. And so I said, nope, I'm planning to bring all of this back home. They put it in this clear bag that they seal up so that you can't open it easily. And that is what you basically take home. And it's confusing because it's not actually a refund in Japan like it is in some other countries. It's tax-free in that right then and there, you get the discount. You get the the quote-unquote discount of not having to pay taxes just by showing your passport and getting this hermetically sealed in a bag.
Yeah. And it's such a simple and straightforward process. So just to compare it, like the way it works in most other countries, for example, I bought an iPhone in Thailand.
Yeah.
And the way it works is you go to a store, you purchase this iPhone, you give them your passport, and then they fill out 2 to 3 pages of documentation that they keep. One of them they send to the government, and then one you take with you. And then when you fly home, you bring this piece of paper and the iPhone still in the box and also your passport. And they have this tax-free refund counter. Generally before you actually check into your flight, although sometimes it's after you check in or after security. And then you bring all this paperwork to them, and then they double check it with what they have in their computer versus what the government has versus what actually happened at the store. And then they'll give you a percentage, however much the tax was, back in a refund in the local currency. So we got a whole bunch of Thai baht right before we were about to leave Thailand.
What do I do with
which
this?
is the worst time to get a whole bunch of Thai baht, but that's just the way it works. And that process is the same basically anywhere else you go, but Japan just kind of figured out this awesome system to be able to do it all kind of transparently at the actual store.
Right. I was fully expecting to get to the airport the next day and look for the same counter. And everything that I've read online is that you should just keep your receipts with you in case somebody asks you or inspects your luggage or wants to know what you purchased. But really, we just packed all our souvenirs in our luggage and checked it on. I thought, do I have to carry this on? Do they have to inspect anything? Because that's what happened in Thailand. Right. But nope, that was it. No one asked me for anything. No one asked to inspect my receipts, and I opened up my hermetically sealed bags here at home.
Yep.
Okay, our next question comes from Tricia Blair Johnstone. Great video. We are headed to South Korea and Thailand in April. Your video helped us decide to put Vietnam on our next journey.
Yes.
Question. I really like Lisa's backpack/luggage. What brand is it and where can I buy him?
Oh, man. Do you want to go grab
I'll
it
go
real
get
quick?
it.
Okay.
Please hold.
Please hold. We'll put some.
Unanticipated because I'm in the middle of packing for our trip to the Philippines. But
Yes.
This is the 35-liter Alpa Cotopaxi backpack. I love this backpack.
Yes.
It is the backpack that I've used from the very beginning of our round the world trip, and I don't think I'll ever go back to any other backpack. So
yeah,
it is
it hits that perfect middle ground for a backpack in between luggage and thing that you can throw on your back and not look like a total weirdo.
For those of you that are on audio only, I'll try my best to describe it. But my favorite thing about this backpack is that it's basically a clamshell, in that it's just like a suitcase that opens up flat. And then it has all these different compartments. So this side, I put all my clothes and I fit my shoes in here. This side, I fit toiletries, some underwear, some other things. And then there's a spot for your passport. There's a spot for your air tags that I always carry with me, and some headphones. So there's all these different compartments, and my favorite way to describe it for people, especially friends who have now also purchased the backpack, is it's like having a backpack and travel cube in one.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
travel cubes,
Travel
because
cubes built right into it. Yeah.
I mean, I do think there are times I wish it had like some compression straps in it. But like this mesh zipper cover is amazing. And then it also has a back like laptop sleeve area, and then this head compartment. And I think one of my favorite things about this backpack is that the outside of it is waterproof. So it's like, there are different kinds, but that's been pretty clutch in moments where we're traveling. It's really just comfortable, and the size of it is great because I think 35 liters fits just enough for like bordering a little bit too much, but I can fit like,
you can bring more stuff home.
I can fit, I can fit my tennis shoes in there. I can fit 2 pairs of shoes in there. I can fit clothes. I can fit sweaters. I can fit so many things. My one qualm, and I've said this before and I still say it, my one qualm is there's not a good spot for like a water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And I desperately like either want to have conversations with Cotopaxi about this, like how can we put something on the side just to slide a water bottle in?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's the closest to perfect travel backpack for like a 2-week thing.
Oh,
like
I mean, a whole year.
I know. I mean, it can definitely last, but if you're just like going on 2-week vacation and you don't want to lug around a little luggage with you everywhere that you go, like the Philippines, we haven't been there yet, but it seems like the type of place we're having like an actual rolly suitcase would be a nightmare.
Yeah. Just because of how much it sounds like people take like ferries, getting on ferry to boat to like
bus
airplane,
to other bus to the back of motorcycle to little tiny like 3-wheeled trimaran. Yeah. And I think that for that type of travel, I don't think that I've found a better backpack out there than the Cotopaxi. I think that's the best one that I've ever used.
Though.
And in that back room bag there is about a dozen backpacks. I kind of collect them. I definitely collect them. And this is the best one that we've used so far. I've downsized to the 28 liter a little bit, much to Lisa's chagrin, because sometimes she ends up carrying some stuff that I bring with on the trip because she has the bigger backpack. But it's been great. Like,
everything fits. Everything magically fits. Wow. I just don't need that much stuff.
It's been great. I think it's for sure the best backpack that we've ever used. We both have one, just in different sizes. The colors are just crazy and all over the place and fun, and I love that. If you want one that looks very plain Jane, like the black one that doesn't stick out too much, you can get that, or you can get one like mine that has like 17 different colors on it.
Yeah, and I think in general, Cotopaxi is a really great brand. Like, I think they do good, and they try to use like sustainable practices, which is really awesome. And they're just, thank you, their backpacks last. I mean, I bought this backpack almost 4 years ago, and it is I mean, it's a little beat up, but it's working, and it's the only thing I will ever use. I will say also, it does come with a hip belt. Not really useful. I don't,
for the like Camino, it was useful.
Well, no, we didn't even use this backpack for the Camino.
For the Camino, it would be useful. Sorry, is what I meant.
Yeah, it's like, this is the kind of backpack I think if you're like going from city to city and, or staying for a while. But I love it because it's like longer than your typical backpack. It doesn't like stick out like a turtle shell and just like hits people once you turn around on an airplane, because I've definitely been there and been on the receiving end of that.
And it's not too heavy. It weighs just over a kilo, so if you're flying like we are on budget airlines where you only get 7 or maybe 10 kilos, it doesn't eat up that much more than any other backpack type. It's great.
Okay, so our final question comes from Blib Blah Bloob Star. Literally. Blib Blah. How can I say this better? Bleep blah bloob blah. Bleep blah bloob star.
Nailed it.
Bleep blah blub star.
Bleep blah blub star. Okay.
Or it's beeblah bloob star.
Okay, what's the question?
What kind of card do you use to skip the ATM fees?
Well,
this is
bleep blah blub star. We've got an answer for you here. The Charles Schwab debit card has been a total game changer for me for well over a decade.
Yeah.
I've been using this exact same debit card for traveling the world, and it's probably saved me between $5,000 and $10,000
It is.
of ATM transaction fees in that decade.
So this
One of the most ROI
yeah.
positive things I've ever done in my life.
This is probably
you know?
just for US listeners,
Yep.
US users, but Charles Schwab is a bank that doesn't have they don't have any physical, they're not like a brick and mortar store, right? And there are no ATMs that they have that you can like deposit cash or like withdraw cash. Like there's no Charles Schwab specific ATMs, but their checkings account is amazing because you get this debit card and you basically anywhere, international, non-international, you get refunded for all ATM fees.
Yes.
I don't know how they do it.
It's awesome.
But they do it. So it is the thing that we do every single place that we visit. As soon as we land, we use our ATM card. I mean, we have to set a travel set notice or whatever first. And then you withdraw cash. And sure enough, when you go and look at the, your account in the month, they refund you for those ATM fees.
Yeah, it's truly great. I think I'm going to add up exactly how much money I've saved off of these ATM transactions.
Right now?
And after this, but I'm going to put it right here in the video. The actual number was $1,413.75, dear podcast listeners. Okay.
Future Josh.
It was either a lot more or a lot less than I thought. A lot less than I originally thought. One of those two things is true, but still a lot.
And this is a really good question, though, and something that comes up quite a bit. People wonder, like, what's the best way to get local currency? Should I be getting it? Like my mom, she usually goes to her local bank, takes out some cash or exchanges it in their local currency and then travels with it.
Yeah.
Some people go to a bank or a currency exchange when they're actually at their destination. And I think still to this date, ATMs are the best.
100%.
Even though there are the fees and there's an exchange rate, I think the exchange rate is always better.
Yeah, I think if there was like a 10 commandments of international travel, one of those commandments would be thou shalt never exchange currency unless you absolutely have to. Because you're always going to lose 5 or 10%, no matter how good the exchange rate is or whatever. Anytime you're exchanging currency, especially if you're doing it at like your local bank in the US for like some currency that isn't common for them to have, like if you're trying to get Thai baht from your bank in Arizona, they probably don't have a lot of Thai baht sitting around, so the exchange rate is going to be really significant for you there. The best way that we've found to get money in a foreign country is you fly there, put the ATM card in, especially one that happens to reimburse fees like the Charles Schwab one that we're talking about, and pull out the local currency directly from the local ATM. You get the fees refunded. The exchange rate is as favorable as it could possibly be at that point in time. And I don't know. I'm not a Forex trader. I don't understand the actual ins and outs.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, that's the most bang for your buck that you can get out of any possible debit card that's available in the United States. And honestly, if it didn't exist, I don't know what I'd do. I have seen some other things out there that are specifically aimed at international travel, some other debit cards that I think allow you to on demand change your currency that you have in your account to a different currency and then withdraw that locally.
Yeah.
So instead of like the Charles Schwab being the middleman, like they actually have bank accounts in all of these different countries, and then you pull it out from that with one debit card. I'm sure the game's changed over the past decade that I've been using this.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear any other info about this stuff to see if it really is like worth the time and riffraff to be able to move to a more complicated system.
And so far, I mean, this process has done us really, really well. Knock on wood. I mean, we've only had I don't even think, luckily we haven't had any, but we've heard stories of friends who, chose the wrong ATM and the wrong ATM machine ate up their card and they couldn't get it back. That definitely happened
to me. That happened to me on my first trip to Thailand. I just put in the ATM card and said, I can't read it. And then it just ate the ATM card. I'm like, what? Okay, that's our final question for today. But I think that what we both just want to say here and what we're both feeling as we're launching this scholarship and this Patreon is just to say thank you to everybody out there. I mean, you guys have watched us learn on the job for the past 3.5 years as we have been like
if we've bleep blop blooped it.
we started off like making wood gym equipment at our cabin because it was the only thing we could do, and then we built this van, and then we started like traveling around the US eating every single cheese curd we could possibly find, and then we finally got to do this like this like round the world trip thing that we always wanted to do, and that kicked it off. And now we're here where we're making this like 3 days and X videos, and we're so proud of that. But we're just so thankful and grateful to all of you out there for coming along with us on this journey, to being able to see this thing through and actually being able to make some like real good impact in the world in a way like this, and actually being able to send a college kid on the trip to Italy or to France or to Dubai or wherever the heck they want to go, you know, wherever, to actually be able to like do something in the real world, to be able to help somebody like monetarily make their travel dreams come true has been a dream of ours. And the only way that we can make this happen is you out there. So we just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much for like checking up on us and for keeping us accountable, and also just like participating in this all of this with us, because truly without you, this wouldn't exist at all.
Yeah. Right.
So
it would not. It would not. Okay. That's enough sappy stuff. I'm getting all emotional over here. So I just wanted to just thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you
next time in our next Travel Thursday, whenever that Thursday happens to be. We'd love to hear from you though. So keep asking and sharing your thoughtful comments, because even if we don't always get to respond to them, we're always reading them and always talking about them. So we appreciate them, and we appreciate you.
All right. Thanks so much. See you guys soon.